When the fire is low and the night is quiet, the ancestors speak. They speak not only of survival, but of greatness. They speak of kings whose names were not meant to fade, but to echo across time. Tonight, we remember one of them. Before the world mapped his name, before foreign lands spoke of his wealth, there was a man rising quietly within the vast lands of the Mali Empire. A man who would one day carry gold like dust and change how the world saw Africa. His name was Mansa Musa. Long before his legend reached distant continents, Musa was not yet known as the richest man in history. He was simply a man entrusted with responsibility. In the traditions of the Mali Empire, leadership was not only about inheritance. It was about duty. It was about balance. It was about understanding the weight of people, land, and legacy. When the ruler before him left on an ambitious expedition across the Atlantic Ocean and never returned, the empire stood at a crossroads. It needed stability, it needed direction, and so Musa stepped forward, not as a conqueror hungry for war, but as a leader aware of the burden he now carried. He became Mansa, king. Under his leadership, the Mali Empire did not weaken, it expanded, it strengthened, it flourished. The lands he governed were unlike anything many parts of the world had seen. Gold was not rare, it was abundant. It flowed through the empire in ways that shaped economies far beyond its borders. From the deep mines of West Africa, gold was extracted, traded, and transported across vast desert routes. Caravans moved slowly but steadily across the Sahara, connecting Africa to North Africa, the Middle East, and beyond. Merchants carried not only gold, but salt, ivory, textiles, and stories. Cities grew, markets thrived, and among these cities stood one of the greatest centers of knowledge the world had ever known, Timbuktu. In Timbuktu, scholars gathered to study astronomy, mathematics, law, and philosophy. Manuscripts were written, preserved, and passed down. Knowledge was respected. Education was valued. This was not a land without structure. This was not a land without intelligence. This was a civilization. And yet, beyond Africa, many did not fully understand its scale. Mansa Musa knew something important. Wealth alone is not power unless the world can see it. In the year 1324, he made a decision that would echo across history. He would embark on the pilgrimage to Mecca. But this would not be a quiet journey. This would be a statement, a declaration, a revelation. When Musa began his journey, he did not travel alone. He moved with thousands. Soldiers walked alongside him. Servants attended to every detail. Camels carried supplies, and among those supplies was gold, so much gold that it defied expectation. As the caravan crossed the desert, it became a moving symbol of power. People gathered just to witness it. Stories spread ahead of him. Whispers turned into awe, and when he arrived in cities along the way, including Cairo, his presence was felt immediately. But it was not just his arrival that left an impression. It was his generosity. Mansa Musa gave freely, to the poor, to scholars, to leaders, to strangers. He gave so much gold that it disrupted the economy. In Cairo, the sudden influx of gold caused its value to drop. Prices changed, markets shifted, and the effects lasted for years. Think about that. One man, one journey, changing the value of gold in an entire region. This was not just wealth, This was influence. This was power on a scale the world had never seen. Before Musa's journey, much of the outside world underestimated Africa. After his journey, they could not ignore it. His story spread across continents. European mapmakers began to redraw their understanding of the world. On one famous map, an African king was illustrated holding a piece of gold. That king was Musa. Africa was no longer invisible. It was undeniable. But here is what makes his story truly powerful. Mansa Musa did not allow his legacy to end with gold. When he returned from his pilgrimage, he brought back more than wealth. He brought vision. He brought scholars, architects, and thinkers. He invested in knowledge. He built mosques that still stand today. He expanded learning institutions. He transformed Timbuktu into a global center of education. Students traveled from distant lands to study there. Books became some of the most valuable possessions in the empire. Knowledge became a form of wealth. And through this, Musa demonstrated something that few leaders truly understand. Gold can build, but knowledge sustains. His empire became not just rich, but enlightened, not just powerful, but respected. Mansa Musa ruled with an understanding that went beyond material wealth. He understood legacy. He understood that what you leave behind matters more than what you accumulate. And so he built, he elevated, he transformed. Years passed. Empires rose, empires fell, the world changed. Histories were rewritten, narratives were distorted, and yet his story remained, sometimes hidden, sometimes ignored, but never erased, because truth has weight, and his legacy was too heavy to disappear. Today, many still speak of him as the richest man who ever lived. But perhaps that is too simple, because wealth is not only measured in gold. It is measured in impact, in knowledge, in influence, in the lives you change. Mansa Musa did not just carry gold across deserts. He carried Africa into global memory. He showed the world that Africa was not empty, not primitive, not waiting, but thriving, powerful, brilliant, and deeply connected to knowledge, trade, and civilization. And even now his story continues to echo, not just as history, but as reminder. A reminder that what was built before us still matters. A reminder that identity cannot be erased when it is remembered. A reminder that greatness did not begin elsewhere. It has always existed here. So when you hear his name, do not hear only wealth. Hear vision, hear leadership, hear legacy. Because the story of Mansa Musa is not just about a king, it is about a truth. A truth that still lives within the continent and within its people. We were never small, we were never without history, we were never without greatness. And that greatness still echoes. Welcome to Ixixi Ancestral Echoes, where history is not simply told, it is reclaimed.